sorry, Lenore. It's not me. It's you. Alright guys, get ready to be sussed. Lots of sussing going on in this video. So I've been doing a lot of tweaking with the mill, and I figured this might be a pretty important video to share with you guys, because it's actually, I learned something that I never thought was a thing. Alright guys, I could draw your attention down to the dark recesses that is my gibs. So there's the gib for my Z-axis, or Z-axis, depending on where you're from. In my earlier video, I had all this shit really tight, which is problematic, to say the least. I was getting some very peculiar readings over in this area, general direction over here. Every time I'd move the table, this number would go up like 2 or 3 thousandths every time. Now, I initially just thought it was this bracket that had a little bit too much flex in it. And I actually redid this whole thing today just because I was not really pleased with how well it was sitting. It's got a bowed a little bit in the middle, so it's actually got about a 5 thou, discrepancy in there. But that's from top to bottom. That's over to 26 inches or something like that. So that's not too bad, I don't think. So what I believe to be happening is that every time I raised the table, it was going up a little bit and dragging on the ways. So then as I was moving along with it, it would actually start to climb back up there, and hence giving me the reading in the back end there about 3 or 4 thousand sometimes. Now everything right here is just, I'm not getting nearly as much stick slip, I think is the term for that. It's moving much smoother. All the table and X and Y is just much nicer. And this all dawned on me when I was fly cutting this bad boy. Now I hit both the top and bottom of my vise, so you can't really see the bottom, it's just bolted down. And yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome of that. All right, guys, I'm getting this on 2 cameras just to make sure I'm not freaking hallucinating. And that's my half thou dial test indicator. My Mitutoyo. I don't have many good tools. I gotta say, this one's a lot nicer than that other one. There's a couple little flicker in there that's just hardly anything. A couple tenths. I think I can live with that. That was actually really hard to do. Now that I got the mill all sussed out, if you'll turn your attention to the clutter that is my new welding table here. I did make an attempt to make an angle plate, and it's actually very nice. It's quite square. You get that nice shiny finish there. I whipped up another fly cutter because I wasn't pleased with how the other one was performing. It seemed like it was actually warping and bending out of shape a little bit. So I made a beefier, girthier one out of some kind of, it's a really nice material in the machine, whatever it is. It's not mild steel, whatever it is. It's kind of mystery metal, but it's chromed, and it machined just absolutely, just beautifully. Amazing, actually. And that was actually, I built that in under a day. So I was really happy with having a project that doesn't take a week. Anyways, so as you've seen in the intro, got some weird issues back here that aren't quite jiving with the rest of my setup for the taper attachment. So I'm going to have to make some fixturing for the mill to get this on there. And while I'm at it, I figure I might as well fix this too, because this has been a slight annoyance for a while. This is pretty sloppy, very sloppy. So I made this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, well, that's going to be a little too flimsy probably, because one time I clamp the carriage up to it, it's going to be sticking up, like that high. So I'm going to just put that off to the side. I got this 1-inch plate here. This is a 4x1 flat bar, and this is just a scrap of chunk from my old I believe this was actually from my steady rest build years ago. Left some leftovers. We're going to clean these up, weld them together, and possibly put a big gusset in there, and that will definitely be strong enough. Man, I love this thing. That is so fast. Those chips are the frickin' devil though. Wow. Oh my God, it's so rank. It's hot. Yeah, it seems no matter what I do, there's always a little bit of something there. You can barely tell, but it's there. I can tell it's there. Yeah, oh well. That will be sussed. Yeah, we can't exactly show you a fly cutter and then not show it to you. So this one actually has a 7/8 shank on it. It's as big as my as big as a collet I can fit in here, I think. And it's a very, very nice fit. I don't know what kind of steel that was, but it's machined just amazing, that stuff. And we're gonna have a pretty high RPM. Last time I did this was 900 and what is that? 950 RPM, so it's pretty fast. It does shake the mill quite a bit, so you're probably going to be a shaky camera, I'm guessing. Maybe not, I don't know. I'll put you on a different piece of concrete. I'd like to do about 700, I just don't have that, I don't have that RPM on this thing. It goes from 950 to down to 490. And then there's nothing in between. It's kind of annoying. Oh, and I was spinning that backwards anyway. This is a left-handed fly cutter, by the way, so I can use my right-handed lathe tools. Because quite honestly, I don't use my left-handed lathe tools all that much. So if I'm going to buy more lathe tools, they're going to be right-handed lathe tools. I'm going to do that in reverse. There we go. And we're only going to do about I don't know, maybe a 3/thou cut, 2/thou. And it's shaking quite a bit, so let's give that a shot. 2.5 thousandths there. And I'm getting pelted again. does seem to be cutting a little bit on the backstroke. I don't know, it shouldn't be, but it is. Shut this off here. Okay. I can still feel little lumps in there. Probably just from me not turning it smooth enough. Still though, looks pretty damn good to me. I'm a little bit torn on whether to go TIG or stick or MIG, to be honest. So I don't know. My MIG is kind of weak, and my TIG I only have 332 filler rods. So I think I'm gonna have to go with stick on this one. So I went ahead and prepped all these. We got about a 60-degree bevel on every corner. Kind of hoping I don't spark it up too badly. We try to get some arc shots too if we can with this other camera. Yeah, we might have to get a clamp or something on that. All right, that's a little better. Picked up this vise a while back at a garage sale, like 50 bucks. Really, you can't do much better than that. I want to weld the gusset in there first, or tack it in before I start welding anything. It's kind of weird looking at it, it's so shiny. That's pretty damn close right there. Alright guys, sorry about that. Filming this stuff is just so unbelievably frustrating. I actually gave it 2 more passes all the way around. Gave her a good and proper fillet weld all the way around there. But didn't get too much spatter. There was a couple spots right here that was just, I don't know, there was some gunk in there, or I thought it was pretty clean, but I'm going to have to let it cool off considerably. That's going to take probably an hour. And I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so I went ahead and gave this a little bit of a cleanup. I just kind of gave it a little bit of the old, and that's about it. Everything is looking pretty square from what I can tell. Just going by this and by that, you know, it looks pretty much spot on. So I think we're okay with that so far. And in this direction, should be about the same. Yeah, we're looking good. So I got to give this a little cleanup. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the flapper wheel to some of this. Well, it's already wrecked anyway. I knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. But I'm going to take off some of this spatter and some of the excess weld that's on the sides here, and we're going to head over to the mill. So what I'm going to do, I think, is probably just face this off, probably deck about 25 thou off there, or as much as it takes to get rid of any undercut and stuff. And then I'm going to go around here with a side mill of that all the way around in hopes to get a nice, deal with squaring off like 3 sides all in one shot. Anyways. Okay. 0 RZ axis here. Take it up about 25, I think is probably good. Well, we'll start with 15 just to see how it does with that weld. Well, looks like we definitely missed a spot there, not by much. Sorry guys, that was super annoying. Looked at my camera and it was freaking off. Ran out of room in the phone. So, okay, here we go. This is our second pass. So it's a total of 25 thousandths. That's got very little. I'm finding it's a little bit better to conventional mill with the face mill, and you get a little bit less of that transition mark in there. So that's pretty good right where we have it. I'm gonna do a not so quick tool change and side mill those outside faces. Gee, that sounds like shit. What's going on? Oh, it doesn't like coolant, I guess. See? Okay. It would appear 25 thousandths is the magic number on this thing. This thing. It's not liking the coolant whatsoever. So I think we're going to bypass the coolant. Making some pretty horrible sounds. We'll bring in another 10 thousandths. A little bit more yet. Nice. Got a little bump. Climb cut. Well, to the naked eye, it sure looks good. Well, it feels good too. All right, guys. Well, I gave her a little shine up there just to get all some of the welding smoke off of there. And this, I just kind of gave this all a deburr and hit it with the stones, and it's all feeling very smooth. There's no high spots or anything. It's not the prettiest, but it's certainly beefy enough for anything I'm going to throw at it. So I think I'm going to call this a win. Welcome to the inside of my carriage. Not much to it really. Just a little traverse gear casing and some half nuts. Due for a little inspection anyway, but they look pretty good still. So we're just going to strip this down for starters, because we got some work to do on the back end here, as well as maybe fix that up a little bit, if we can, if it's even worth fixing. All right, guys, so this is going to be next to impossible to get you a good view of what the indicator is actually saying. Unless I can get this other camera to work, I can kind of do a handhold thing here. I need the top face here to actually match up with the ways on the lathe. So what I'm doing is I'm dialing it in right here, and I've even got my fancy dial test indicator, my Mitutoyo half thou indicator, and I believe I got it into roughly about within half a thou in I think about 10 inches. So now we're gonna have to frickin' go this over here, which I'll never be able to see it. A little bit of a flicker in there. And it starts about the same and ends about the same, so there's a little bit of wear in there. But all in all, yeah, we ended up about a half thou on the other side of the 5 thou mark there. So we're pretty good there. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. So here's the issue that's causing all the problems with my taper attachment. I stoned that off and hit it with the file just to make sure it's not, well, less high spots. Yeah, see, there's about 3 thousandths of different error there. So if it's not tracking on the ways, that's what it's going to be tracking right there. So just a quick, should be just a quick fly cut on there, and we're done with this side. Easy peasy. Okay, so we're just about ready here. Got pretty much everything set up here. Put the mill on. Shortened up the cutter a little bit because we don't need all that length. We'll lock the y-axis up here and engage. We're only going to take off enough to correct it, and that's it. Very light passes because I don't know, this kind of freaks me out a little bit. Alright, so on our Z-axis, dial in 3 thou, and then 3 thou on the way back will do, I think. And that should cover everything, I think. Well, yeah, I don't want to do too much. That might actually be good enough right there. That was about 4 thousandths. But we hit the whole surface by the looks of it. And I can't see any spots that I missed. So I think that's probably good enough. We won't tempt fate. We'll just leave it as is, I think. All right. So all that, just to do that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the back end there. I kind of was going over this, and really, you know, it's not great, but it's not really worth fixing, to be honest. Like I measured it, and it's only like 2 thou difference, but mind you, that could be just, it doesn't, I don't know. I don't think it's worth fixing. According to the micrometer, it's not worth fixing. So I think I'm just gonna bypass that one. It's not really a problem yet. It probably won't be for quite some time. So I'm just gonna put this back together, and we'll have to check out the taper attachment again and see if it's actually running straight or not before we can call this sussed. See you in a minute. All right, guys, so here it is. And what I was trying to achieve, as long as this is running straight, there's some flickers in there, but I can assure you it's good all the way down, pretty much. Within half a thou at the most. Now, what I had problems with before is after locking the carriage down and sliding the other dovetail, that would move like, I forget what it was, 4 or 5 thousandths, quite a bit. Now we got it. You know, within a few tenths. So it would appear that it's sussed. Finally. Wow. Yeah, so that one little all that just to deck that off and fix that. That was the big deal right there. So Lenore, you're back in shape again. Okay. So I did not honestly think I would get that sussed. I'm glad I did though, because now we could definitely move on with this project. Yeah, sorry about the welding stuff, guys. I had this thing on and focused, and it was actually, it's showing promise. However, it was really hard to tell if it was on or not, and I got sidetracked, and I moved the camera, and it shut itself off because it thought the freaking lens was closed. So all I really got was this. Like I said, it's I'm gonna work on that. In the meantime, thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.